Welcome back to Wargamer Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, the show where we are talking about the Retribution of Scyrah Battlebox, the new Mark III edition stuff. As per our other videos, if you've seen any of them, maybe you haven't, I don't know. We're going to talk about the contents of the box, and then we're going to go into an unboxing, and it'll be awesome. So, in the Battlebox, I had to stop myself from saying all in one box, because we did so many of them.
Yeah.
It was like...
Habituation, man.
Yeah. It comes with Magister Helynna.
Helynna.
Whatever.
He's wrong.
A Chimera, a Griffin, and a Manticore. So the same stuff as in the previous Ret box, but... Or Ret Battlebox, anyway. With the exception of the caster. You also get, of course, the fancy tokens, and the mat, and the linear obstacle, and some books or something.
A bunch of other cool shit.
Yeah. And it's cheaper. So... all right. So let's take a look at the Griffin. So the Griffin is pretty similar to how he was before. I don't think a whole lot.
I don't think anything changed about the Griffin other than points cost, honestly.
But yeah, he's rocking 8 points. He's still got his 6 boxes of Phoenix Force shield stuff.
It's not Phoenix Force.
I feel like it's Phoenix Force.
No, it's just Force Field.
Well, the Phoenix does it better.
Well, yeah, because the Phoenix has a Phoenix Field.
Oh, yeah. He's got Pathfinder. He's got Arm 16, Mat 6.
He's armor 16, but he has a shield, so he's effective armor 18.
And he's got range 2 halberd, so your reach weapon. Field dependent, so if his field general gets blown up, he can't have Pathfinder or Fleet. And he has Fleet, so once per activation, he can spend 1 focus point to move he can spend 1 focus to gain +2 movement. When advancing as part of its normal movement at activation, and his halberd has powerful charge. So, again, we're going to say pretty much the same thing we said about him before. For the points cost, he's relatively inexpensive.
He's a nice little piece. I think he's probably less good in Battlebox level games, just because he's not particularly good at, like, wrecking heavies.
Yeah, I agree.
But, I mean, you can still get off a pretty accurate charge stab on a Warcaster. Yeah,
I mean, well, okay, so... You know, on the charge, he's going to be POW 15. Just attack rolls.
Yeah, he's still POW 13 on the charge.
So POW 13, 3 dice on the charge, Mat 8. But his threat range is pretty sick. So he'd be, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 into threat range. So you've got the 6 for speed, 3 for charge, 2 for fleet. Yeah, I mean, respectable threat range.
And that's Pathfinder, too. So it's like...
Pathfinder. The thing is, he's not... I don't think he's going to win you games outright by himself most of the time. But
no, well, and the thing is, like I said, in Battlebox games, he's less impressive. In larger scale games, when you start getting more of an army, like when he can just run in and engage a bunch of guys, when he can provide you with flanks for some of your other Warcasters and stuff like that. Yeah, he's a pretty solid piece overall.
Not only that, but I mean, like even if all he did was run around and chase after solos, he's fast enough to do it, and they're not going to be able to do anything about it.
Exactly, and like a charge attack from him, Mat 8, you can boost that on top of it.
The deals with stuff like Iris pretty easily. Yeah. So, no, I think he's a good piece. For 8 points, I mean, I think he should be in the collection. So him being included in here is just fine.
Yeah, and you, I mean, like even in Battlebox level games, you can still use him to slam. He's a fast slamming piece. You can slam with him. You can't do any other, like, you can't do any of the throw power attacks or whatever, but you can, you could headbutt. Yeah. You could,
So the other light that you get is the Chimera. Double open fist POW 12 at melee attacks, half-inch range.
They do have combo strike, though.
They do have combo strike. So they could get up to what, POW 16? Okay.
That's respectable on a charge attack. Like
defense 12, but he's got Phantasmal Field, so he gets +1 defense against ranged and magic attack rolls for each focus on him. Yeah. So I guess if you're camping focus, you get him up to defense 15.
Yeah, which is pretty good. I mean,
power up gives you 1, so I mean that's nice.
Yeah.
He loses Apparition and Phantasmal Field when his field generator is broken, but and Apparition gives him a 2-inch placement.
Yeah, he teleports 2 inches at the start of your turn, basically.
Which is really cool because he's an arc node. Now, 8 points for an arc node in any faction is pretty good.
Unless you're Crix.
Because they pay 6, I think.
Yeah, but this guy's way more capable than a 6-point Crix arc node, to be fair.
And he's also, reasonably high boxes for a light.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that.
Well, because if you include his force field,
sure, but like he comes in at like two more boxes than a Lancer. Or
26 effective boxes.
Was that really?
Yeah.
Then he has the same number of boxes as a Lancer.
Okay, yeah, but for 4 less points.
It's also nice that the force field guarantees that for the first 6 damage, you're not going to lose anything.
Yeah, well, exactly. Although, I mean, as soon as you start losing like actual pieces or actual boxes, you're going to lose something.
It takes minimum 5 damage to cripple a system.
Yeah, and really the only one I think you're going to end up caring about is going to be his arc node. I mean,
and the generator. The field generator is important, especially if you want to like bounce him out of combat to node through him, dark through him. But I mean, when he's got his 2-inch apparition, I mean, in order to get him into positions into position, he can run 12 apparition 2. You're 14 inches away from wherever you want to be, and then you arc your spells through him. I mean, like he seems like a really solid. I think he's a pretty good arc node. I honestly until I really read over the card and looked at it a little bit more, I was thinking he was like worse than he was, but he seems solid.
I mean, I don't know that you're going to use him for his combo attack glaive shit. I mean,
a POW 16 charge attack is nothing to laugh at. Like, it's actually, that can end the game. That can cut a Warcaster in half.
I guess. I mean, to me, I think that if he's in a position, if you can get him into a position where he's going to get that charge off and kill the Warcaster. You're
thinking way too one-dimensionally, man.
No, man, I'm thinking 4th dimensionally.
Like, if you kill one Khador heavy and then he kills your heavy with his other heavy, and then you've got your Chimera where it was arcing spells last turn, and you can charge Kozlov and murder him. You're gonna do it, man.
That's fair.
You're gonna do it.
I like him.
Are good.
I like him for 8 points. I don't know that I would run both of them in an army most of the time. Like I don't know.
What you mean, like the Chimera and the Griffin?
Chimera and the Griffin. Together.
I think they suit different purposes. Like most Warcasters, once you get out of the Battlebox level games, most Warcasters are gonna want one or the other. Probably not both.
But I think that having both in the collection is nice.
Sure, yeah. It's nice because it lets you expand in sort of either direction there. You can go for more spellcastery guys, spellcasting warcasters, or more, jack support melee warcasters.
Yeah. The warjack you get with this is the Manticore.
The heavy warjack.
I guess, yeah. The real warjack you get.
The heavy Myrmidon. Fucking Ios not speaking scum.
It doesn't say anywhere on there that he's a Myrmidon.
No, it doesn't. It's because Myrmidon's not actually a game term.
Now he's just a Retribution Shail heavy warjack. Now all Shail warjacks are Myrmidons, but they don't say that anywhere.
All Retribution warjacks are Myrmidons.
Are they really?
Yes.
I thought the Vyre ones weren't.
No, they're still Myrmidons. They're just not like Vyre and Shail make Myrmidons, but Shail makes ones with force fields and Vyre makes ones that are bulkier.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. All right. So Manticore's pretty solid. Double open fist POW 15s. His cyclone cannons range 12, rate of fire D3, so you get D3 shots with it, and you can use it for covering fire, which is particularly awesome.
Although again, not so much in Battlebox games.
Nah, not so much in Battlebox games.
But it's a nice feature to have later.
Yeah. His force generator lets you spend 1 focus to get +3 strength, bringing your melee attacks up to POW 18,
which is pretty cool.
It's pretty
solid.
And of course, if he's field dependent, so he loses stuff. If
he loses his gun and that force generator ability,
so
his field's crippled.
Exactly. Yeah. Interesting. He doesn't have combo strike anymore.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, I was pretty sure that he used to have combo.
He did have combo strike before because you get him up to like POW 22 or something like that. Now you can't. But now he has covering fire, which he didn't have before.
No, I'm pretty sure he had covering fire before too.
I don't think so. I'm gonna take a look because now I'm not sure, but.
Please wait while we evaluate our life decisions. Yeah, he doesn't have combo strike anymore. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. Actually, that kind of took me by surprise because I just kind of assumed he still had it.
I mean, honestly, as it stands, I don't think it's that much of a loss for him because he can get up to PS 18 on his own anyway. And you still make, 4 attacks at that. 2 initials and 2... Actually, I guess it depends on if you...
He did have covering fire and combo strike.
Interesting.
So his Saber Fist lost combo strike.
That is...
in fact, his Saber Fists now have nothing except for just being open fist punchy weapons.
That's a little unfortunate. Like, I like the ability to combo strike on him. I guess it makes him a little bit... like, it kind of makes sense when I think about it from the stance of, like, they want to make the Manticore different from the other jacks in the army.
Now, well, hold on. To be fair, they did drop his points cost, comparatively speaking. So he was 8 points, now he's 14.
Sure.
Which does not sound like proper math, but...
yeah, War Machine Mark III math. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I wonder if he changed it any other way. That's...
Well, no, okay, but, like, what I was saying, shut up. It makes sense to me to differentiate him from the other jacks in the army because you have a lot of things like the Phoenix, like the like even like some of the warjacks, like the Sphinx, that have higher power individual attacks, and it makes some sense to me that, you know, if you want more attacks at, you know, a higher average strength, then you take a Manticore because you get that force generator. Get up to PS 18, you can make 4 attacks potentially.
Okay. Well, and I mean, to be fair, Ret doesn't have a lot of like POW 18 anything, so he does actually fulfill a purpose. And
also of note, the force generator increases his strength, which also increases his power attack damage rolls and his ability to throw people.
Okay. So really, the big changes with him, he lost combo strike, and instead of rate of fire 3, where you have to buy the shots, you're now rate of fire D3. Otherwise, he seems identical.
I don't know, like, if this is relevant to any of our new viewers because they might not have played in Mark II.
Maybe not. Well, I mean, but so if you're just looking at him as is, I mean, for 14 points, he's not expensive. He can get up to POW 18, which means he can deal with significant threats. He can throw down covering fire, so outside of the Battlebox games, you can deal with or help shape where infantry get to go.
Sure.
And you get range attacks. I mean, he's a pretty good all-comer jack for the points you're spending.
Yeah. He's not going to be specialized for anything, but he's going to be okay at what he's doing.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's a little unfortunate you can't get him out to POW 22 anymore, but I mean, that's all right. I don't think he's bad. I just think he's a little different, a little surprising. But let's take a look at Magister Helynna.
Helynna. If you read the word that is her name...
All right, moving on.
Helynna.
So she's your standardized kind of defense 15, arm 15, 16 boxes.
I don't know how that's standardized, but okay.
I think most warcasters have like 15-ish defense.
Nah, man.
Really?
No, she's one of the higher defense ones. Like the more castery, like the more spellcaster warlocks or warcasters rather have the higher defense, lower armor. Like there's a lot of warlocks.
I guess it's
warcasters.
But like 15 is kind of like, I don't know, a decent benchmark.
It's all right. I mean, 15 is pretty high defense, so she's not super easy to hit. Like you need to boost to hit her with Mat 7 on average.
But I mean, if you get anything like a heavy and melee with her, I mean, you're not even going to be able to mitigate like even with the focus.
Reinforcing the power field.
That's the one. Yeah. So she can repair things. That's interesting. When base to base,
that's like the least interesting thing about her, but okay.
Well, that's the first thing on her.
Well, she's so just thematically speaking, she is an arcanist warcaster. Like she is.
Okay.
She's the person. You know, she's like the repair chick who leveled up a lot and became a warcaster.
She just learned it real good, and then.
Well, no, I mean she has her own. She has talents, right? Like she's not. She wasn't just an arcanist. She determined that she's actually pretty good at other stuff too. Like,
so she can repair things for D3 plus 3. That's all right. She can force grip stuff, which is really cool. So her 12-inch ranged weapon is a POW 11, but if you don't want to, or if you don't do damage with it, or if you choose not to do damage with it, you may push an enemy up to 3 inches in any direction with it instead.
Yeah, which is great.
Really cool.
It's fantastic.
Rate of fire 1, so you're not going to do that more than once, but that's fine.
Who cares?
Her melee attack has the same thing.
Yep.
Which is really cool. So if something does get up all in your grill, you can, push them out.
Or, I mean, she's speed 6, which with reach 2 on that, she can charge something to bring it into threat range for your jacks.
I mean, you better hope that, you better guarantee that it's dead at that point, but yeah, she could do that.
I mean, granted, it's more likely that you'll just use the ranged attack to do that, but...
True. So let's take a look at her spell list. So she's got Deceleration, which is well in her control area, or control range.
Same thing.
Yeah. Friendly faction models gain +2 armor against ranged and magic damage rolls. Lasts for 1 round. It's a self-cast thing, so it's anything within her control area, which is pretty big. Because she's got 7 focus, so within 14 inches of her.
Yeah.
That costs 3, and it's not an upkeep, so it's going to be pricey to use all the time.
Yeah, but you're going to cast it every round until you get in the thick of it, and it can't be purged by purification because it's not an upkeep spell.
It also brings her up to like arm 17, which is a lot more.
It's nice, like
respectable.
It's better to use for your other troops, and like once you expand past this, if you have like a shield guard on her,
like,
that's
true.
You don't want to expose your warcaster to
no, but it helps. I mean,
sure, like it's a nice little buffer if you're an idiot.
Fair. She's got 4 strikes, so range 8.
Not gonna cast it very often.
POW 12. On a critical hit, it's a knockdown, so it's not guaranteed.
It's nice if you if you have extra focus, you're not often going to have extra focus.
I mean, in this battle box, you do have an arc node, so I mean, the range 8 is less of an issue.
Sure. I would say you're more likely to cast the next spell than this with the arc node and then just give your warjacks focus.
Well, let's look at that. So, Hand of Destruction. No, you're already going to have this up. It's an upkeep spell with range of 10. Friendly faction models in this model's battle group get an additional die on attack and damage rolls against target model/units. You're casting this on your enemy model.
Yeah.
You discard the lowest die each turn.
Yeah,
each roll.
This is just making your attacks on average more accurate and do a little bit more damage.
Yeah.
It's probably only going to be like a +1 or 2 bonus, but it's still worth throwing up. Like,
yeah, she's got Obliteration, which is
never going to cast.
Never going to cast.
Too expensive. Well,
costs 4. Well, it's going to cost 5 really.
Shouldn't say never, but
because you're going to boost it, and then your PAL 15 AOE 5. The force of this attack blasts apart the Earth itself.
Like, I mean, I guess if you run your arc node into something's back arc, you probably don't need to boost.
I guess.
But
Then you've got Rhythm of War, which is another expensive spell, so cost 3 self-cast control range upkeep spell.
This one is an upkeep.
Where warjacks in this model's battle group that are in its control area can advance up to 3 inches after all friendly models have ended their activation this turn. So that's good for either really jamming in there or pulling back, depending on what's happening.
I would say 90% of the time the latter, but it's a really good spell.
I mean, I think that it's very clear that she's meant to be a jack caster.
Of course, yeah. Because she's an arcanist. Like she repairs the jacks. She works with the jacks.
So her feat also kind of incentivizes her for a specific type of jack. Removes all damage points from the force fields of friendly faction warjacks in her control range. While in her control range, friendly faction models gain +3 armor and do not suffer the effects of crippled systems. So if you have warjacks that are like on their last leg, they've got like 1 box left. You don't have the resources to heal them anymore or fix them up. You can pop her 100% effectiveness for this turn and go to town. Also like +3 armor. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and you get, your Shail Jacks get to have all their force fields back. Now, something important about this, and like I read about this online, a lot of people are like totally dismissing Warjacks with her. Okay. And I feel like that's a huge mistake. And so did this other person that was
you lose it on the force field regen, but I mean on the other hand, you don't necessarily need it.
Yeah, like the thing is, like, some Warjacks are just so good by themselves. You're still giving them 3 armor. You're still letting them operate at peak efficiency regardless of any crippled systems. And I mean, they typically have higher armor anyway, so the fact that she can repair them is nice. She also synergizes really well with range jacks because of Rhythm of War's reposition ability and deceleration giving her the armor advantage at range.
That's true.
So running a package of like, this is way later on in your game progress, but running a package of like the battle engine and a couple of range jacks with her seems like a really good idea.
Now, one thing I do think is interesting though, while in her control range, friendly faction models gain +3 armor and don't suffer the effect of critical systems. So that actually applies to infantry as well.
That's correct.
So there's, I mean, obviously your entire army's, well, most likely not going to contain just warjacks.
Right, well, it can't, realistically.
But if you were to run, like let's say you're running the halberd guys.
Sure.
I mean, that makes them extra tanky.
I mean, deceleration works against on your other infantry too. So you could run Invictors. You could run Invictors. Particularly now have assault. They don't have flank anymore. That's sad. But you could run any number of things that would be just better. With Helynna. I
mean, I think in the battle box, she's not as impressive as I think she will be in a constructed list.
I think she's fine in the battle box.
I mean, the thing is, she adds a certain level of defensive power, but she doesn't. I mean, I guess she adds Hand of Destruction can help with your averages, but
the thing is, like, she's gonna play an attrition game in a battle box level game because she has access to ranged attack, she has access to Hand of Destruction to make things hit harder. She's got Rhythm of War to help you reposition things against, like, for example, against jacks that don't have range, you can charge your Griffin into 2 inches away and then move it away with Rhythm of War.
Okay. Yeah,
and you could even move into something's back arc so it can't charge you.
Yeah, that's
you could do a bunch of different things. Force Strike actually is, I dismissed that when you were talking about it, but on 3 dice, you have like something like a 15 or 20% chance to crit.
I mean, that's not something you want to bank on, but I mean,
no, but like if all you're doing otherwise is dropping deceleration and handing out some focus.
So
upkeeping Rhythm of War.
The only issue I see with her is that her spell list is very pricey, right? Like she's got 2 3-cost spells. She's got a 4-cost spell, although again, you're probably not going to use that.
Rhythm of War is going to be upkeep. It's going to be a 1-cost spell, realistically.
Now, the thing is, how, in a constructed list, how many warjacks are you taking and how are you powering them up? I mean, I guess you take Arcanist.
If we're talking about like longer term, you can drop 3 Arcanists. I think it's 3 Arcanists in your list.
Something like that.
It's 2 or 3. And you can rely on power up. Like I said, with Helynna, it looks like you're probably incentivized on taking a few really good range jacks. And typically when functioning at range, you don't need that many focus.
Well, and everything's control area as well. So even if you had something like Marshaled or if you had Ilara or something like that.
Not everything. The Hand of Destruction and Rhythm of War only benefit Battle Group.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, the feat and deceleration do still benefit non-Battle Group.
Yeah.
But the damage and mobility you're getting is going to be Battle Group only.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know. I think she'll take some fiddling with to see how she works out.
Sure.
The only thing I don't like about this battle box really is that it contains the same stuff as the old battle box. Like they didn't vary it at all. They're just like, they're just throwing the new caster, it'll be fine. And I would have liked to see something different. Mostly because I already have these models in multiple copies, but also because I think it just would have worked out. Like I think you could have swapped out like the Chimera and the Griffin for a 16-point heavy. Would have been really sick.
Yes, but I think in general, Privateer wants to give you like a more of a breadth of stuff. Like they don't want to give you 2 heavies unless you're Khador, where heavies are your only option. Yeah, I guess there's no light warjack. There's a Kodiak. Their light warjack is man in armor.
Yeah. So yeah, I think she's all right. I'm not super stoked to be playing Ret in general, but I think for the battle box is a really good launching point. Retribution of Scyrah battle group unboxing. Huh? Those are 2 totally different things,
yes,
too.
They are.
Just
extremely.
So let's rip open the plastic, get some of that new box smell, and see what's inside. All right. So, Retribution of Scyrah battle group. This is actually okay. So first things first. This box is actually a little thinner than the other boxes for some reason.
Like
actually, yeah,
or like content wise.
No, I'm wrong and crazy. Never mind.
Yeah, you're crazy. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. It felt smaller. I'm not sure why. Leave me alone.
Please allow me to demonstrate something. Just
bam.
Yeah, see, you can do this.
Yeah. So that's actually really cool because then you can keep your toys and stuff inside of the box and it's still useful. Alrighty, let's see what we got. So we got a Prime Rules Digest size rule book, basically.
Rules.
So this is the full rules. You can get this in PDF form online for free, but it's nice that you get a printed copy.
It lets you have a reference for your toilet or your gameplay area.
Exactly.
Preferably not both.
Well, not both at the same time.
Well, I mean, if you're clean in the toilet with it, sure, whatever. Just
all right then. You get an 18-inch ruler that is laminated paper,
or laper, as it would be.
That is not no. Anyway, we get the Retribution of Scyrah introductory guide. So the cool thing about this is it gives you a little bit of fluff in terms of the new Warcaster. I think these stories were already.
I think they got mailed out on the newsletter or whatever, but it doesn't really matter.
Something like that.
Doesn't make it any less cool.
Yeah, it gives you battle group tactics, which goes over what each model does.
That we said in the earlier part of this video.
Yeah, pretty much.
So read the story and then throw it out.
It tells you about how you can some of your expansion options and what they suggest for growing your force. Now,
but
we are going to do. This is the first video in a series for each faction that we're going to give our suggestions in terms of why, or in terms of how to expand and why.
Build an army.
So over the next several weeks, we're going to hopefully help you grow your battle box into a full-size army. And we're going to do it in a way that makes sense both game-wise, collection-wise, and financial-wise. So
we're going to tell you how to buy $50 at a time. And
yeah.
Make an army.
Or at least pretty close to, yeah.
And you have to follow the instructions.
You don't have to.
It is a mandate. You must, as a subscriber, buy what we tell you to.
Exactly. Well,
Privateer is not paying us, but they should be.
Could you imagine if like a YouTube channel had that kind of power where like you just watch it like I slap chop? Yeah.
Well, no. See, the thing is, like, by saying they must, I take that away from us. Or at least I take that implication away from us. We just have to be compelling enough now that people listen to us and obey. And then Privateer can start paying us money.
You fucked up.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
The most important part of this introductory guide, to me anyway, is that they give you the how to paint the studio paint scheme instructions in terms of like what colors to do, what layers to do, how to do it, and what it should look like step by step. So that means that this guide is not a throwaway guide.
The most important part to me is that there's stuff in there that replaces what we did earlier in this video, and so throw it the fuck away and burn it.
No, I think like keep the pages that deal with the.
Sure. In fact, I mean, because of the way it's assembled, you might even be able to keep the story and the paint and just rip out the middle.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you really wanted to.
See, if you just take this page, this is 2 pages in the middle. Yeah, you really just rip out this and then you're fine.
Okay.
And then burn that.
But then there's some nice artwork there too.
Well, it's just fucking Sorsha beating up a dire troll.
No, the dire troll beating up Sorsha. Get it right.
No, really. I mean, neither of them is beating up the other. This is a giant tangent. Fuck off.
Anyway, it comes with a 24 by 24 inch playmat that
also known as 2 by 2 feet.
Also known as 2 by 2 feet. That's correct.
Or 60 by 60 centimeters.
Really?
Or 600 by 600 millimeters.
Oh, that's obviously that one's easy. But is it actually 60 centimeters for?
I believe it's 30 centimeters to a foot. So yeah.
I should know that, but don't.
Or 6 by 6 decimeters.
Anyway, one side has letters and numbers that are printed on it, which will correspond to the introductory guide. The other side is just a throw down and beat up your friends side, so it's useful in either case.
I still advocate the use of you and 3 friends each buying a battle box and then putting them together to Voltron into a full-size playmat.
Not a bad idea.
No, it's a good idea.
Also
all my
saves,
ideas are good.
Also saves the $100 it would be on a battle mat. From a variety of companies.
I mean, you kind of have an ultra ghetto solution then. But at least then you can just like eat on top of it without worrying about it because it's ultra ghetto.
It's true.
And it's laminated, probably pretty easy to clean, honestly.
Yeah, probably not too bad. Where are you going with that?
Basic training.
Basic training. There we go. So here's the basic training booklet. It gives you the templates, so your small, medium, large blast templates, as well as your spray, if you want to photocopy these or cut them out or whatever. And then it gives you 11 missions on how to play the game. So if you're not familiar at all, this is a great way to get started. Yeah,
you do the first thing and it teaches you one thing, and then you do another thing and it teaches you a second thing.
Exactly. In the event that you don't, like let's say this is all you had with the battle mat, you could actually just cut out these tokens and use the cards in the back here to still learn how to play the game without any models at all.
I think that's the intent, honestly.
I think so too.
I don't know about the cutting the shit out, but like using the cards in the back.
So the benefit of this is if you, let's say you're a veteran player, you wanted the new caster, you bought the box, you can actually just hand this and the map to another friend who's never played, and he could actually figure out how to play the game. I think you kind of be a little bit of a dickbag because you could teach them yourself.
No, it's fine because like maybe you don't have time, and it's better than being an asshole playing Legion while making your friend play Circle.
I didn't make my friend play Circle. You could have played Khador.
Yeah, and then it would have been worse for me overall because I would have had to deal with all the fucking whiners.
There you go. You're welcome. It comes with a variety of other stuff as well.
The dice.
The dice. So your standard black with white pip.
I don't know why you're describing the dice in so much detail. They're fucking 6-sided dice. Who cares?
I like them, and they're very visible. I really like them.
Well, it's a good thing we have all the battle boxes then because you have like 36 of them or something.
That's true. It comes with a set of counters, which are, 10 focus counters or fury counters and 3 spell counters. Tokens, and these are the hard plastic tokens that you could kind of buy. So they didn't cheap out on this, which is really nice. These are pretty essential to play with. So, I mean, you could use something else, but...
And we'll have 90 of them.
Nice. And then we've got the cards. So the cards... For the models, obviously. And the back card... There you go. The back card is your linear obstacles. You fold that on the dotted lines to make your linear obstacle. The other side is a printed sort of pattern texture side. So
sure.
And then, of course, the most important part of this whole box is the models.
The cardboard space saver.
Yeah, exactly.
You mean, right?
Yeah. Well, there's that.
What's her name? What's her name?
Helynna.
Yeah.
Helynna.
You said it right the first time.
Nope, take it back.
Magister Helynna.
There we go.
Helynna. My nose just went really weird there for a second.
Yeah, you pulled like a
Magister Helynna.
Anyway, this is her.
She's bald.
She is bald, which has a certain kind of sex appeal, depending.
Depends on your fetishes and preferences.
There's some bald chicks that are not bad. this is the Manticore. So it's got about a bazillion pieces. So it's nice that they put this just in its own box. However, the 2 lights that this box come with are in the same bag. So when you build this, just make sure to pay attention to the box, and you'll get through it just fine.
Yeah, one guy has a shield and a long cutty stick, and the other one has some weird fucking disc things on his shoulders and some shorter cutty sticks on his arms.
Yeah,
yeah.
And the heads are different.
We're just gonna call swords cutty sticks now.
Sure, what works for me.
It's the new terminology.
Cutty sticks.
It's an interesting choice to make this this a pure white, very stark white, as opposed to the Menoth's cream colored. It's like Menoth pissed in their white a little bit. Kind
of. Now, the whole purpose of having these colored, according to Privateer Press, is so that when you build them and start playing the game, even before they're painted, you can quickly identify which models are yours. So it's really geared around the new player, which is fantastic.
This is something that's related to Ret, but not this battle. Well, a little bit of this battle group. It's cool that almost all of the Ret warjacks are named after mythical creatures.
Yeah, that's true.
You've got a Manticore, you got a Chimera, and a Griffin in this box.
And then I mean, you have access to like Phoenix and Sphinx.
Fucking lame-ass fucking robots, and they're so much less cool.
I don't know. I think some of the robots are cool.
Sorry, let me just rephrase that. I don't think that the Ret warjacks are not cool. I think these ones are kind of boring. Like, not in terms of play, but like in terms of what they actually do. I would rather have a flying fucking lion bird than a robot with a halberd.
Okay, fair enough. Flying lion bird would be pretty sweet. But in either case, this is the Retribution of Scyrah.
Retribution of Scyrah.
Battle group unboxing. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. What do you, I mean, aside from your tangent there, you have anything else you want to add to this one?
Helynna's pretty badass. She's cool.
Doesn't afraid of anything?
She might be afraid of some things, but not very many things.
Okay. So please like, comment, subscribe. Force your friends to watch this. Even if you have to hold their eyeballs open, that's fine.
It would be uncomfortable and inconvenient for the
Well, see, what I'm thinking is we do like a giant playlist with all of these, and then somebody can like sit somebody down and Clockwork Orange them.
All right, whatever. I mean,
never mind. Don't do that. That's a bad idea.
Come check out the Connection Games and Comics. We have the largest selection of War Machine and Horde miniatures in the Lower Mainland. War Machine Wednesdays and Sundays, with tables and terrain to play your game.